I just wanted to give the people what they want to see. Hey. Hello everyone, it is your girl Monique, aka Snatchin' Wigs with a Z, and welcome to yet another episode of Wig Wednesday, where we talk wigs and sometimes wear them. But this month, we're going to change things up a little bit. It's Wig Wednesday, People in the Industry edition. Throughout this month, we will be talking with some of my peers about what it's like working behind the scenes in the industry. So wig, hair, makeup, special effects, you name it. Today's special guest is a makeup artist that I had the pleasure of working with recently. She has worked on Broadway, TV, some editorial, and she even has a visual podcast out right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Rachel Estabrook. So how are you?
I'm good. I'm hanging in.
Okay, well, but like, how has quarantine been for you?
Honestly, I've learned so much about myself in quarantine, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it has been, I think majority of it, I want to say it's a struggle, but all for the better.
Yeah.
Because it's been a bitch. This has not been fun. I don't want to be like, wow, I've worked out so much and I learned how to bake a million things. No, it's been stressful. But I have learned a lot about myself because I feel like this is the most uninterrupted time I've ever had with my mental health. And being able to give all that attention to it has been a blessing, but that's a lot of fucking work. Yeah. So
especially when you think it's only going to be like a month.
Oh yeah, no, I really did at the beginning. I was like, it's a month or two, we're going to get back on the wagon. I was like, a cute little break. And then when I was like, oh, we're in this.
And we're in this for the long
we're not getting out of this.
Haul.
I couldn't believe it. I didn't understand.
Yeah. No, it's so funny. When Broadway shut down, I was at work.
Yeah.
And I was like,
girl.
Yeah, I was at work and I was like, oh, a month? Okay.
Oh, bye.
I went home, packed a month's worth of whatever I needed to pack. And then I was like, oh. All right, I gotta
it's
go
longer.
Back.
I gotta really pack it up.
I didn't do too much. My mom did the baking and all the other stuff. I did
Mom.
I did a lot of like plant hoarding and
no.
At one point I bought like a mini dollhouse.
I was gonna say, and why? Unnecessarily.
Yeah.
Just I bought so much shit that my boyfriend's like, where is all your money that you got from unemployment for doing absolutely nothing? And I was like, gone. What are you talking about? Gone.
Gone because I redecorated.
Yeah.
And I
decided to become we've gone through so many, I think, like jobs and like personas.
Oh my God, when we're done
I'm a model now. I have to get my book together, babe. Like,
I mean, but for real. So you went to Makeup Forever Academy. And I feel like you have a lot of different, like, your experiences kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
But that's what happens when you hustle in New York.
Yeah.
You have to. So we're going to just zero in on Broadway.
100%.
Broadway specifically. Give me the rundown of the shows you've worked on. You don't have to give me them all.
No, I feel you. But my tops and, like, blessings, that was, like, super exciting. My first one out the gate, am I being right? I feel like now I'm getting a little twisted. It was either Aladdin or Lion King, but I think it was Aladdin.
Okay.
Because then I think when it had to be Lion King, dude. I think it was Lion King. Let's go for the intensive, like, hurrah of Lion King, because I worked my ass off to get there. Like, that was, like, dreams in high school. When was that? Had to be 2013 or 14. Yeah, because I graduated school 2012, and I knew it took me at least 1 to 2 years because I thought, oh my God, that came way faster than I ever thought it would. But also I was really hyper-focused on Lion King Broadway. I was like, in my mind of starting out, felt like I wouldn't have made it, that I wasn't going to, get to places where I wanted to be unless I accomplished those things. Mind you, did a ton of off-Broadway and a ton of regional theater before that.
Okay, so Lion King, what else?
Yes, Lion King, Aladdin, Book of Mormon, Kinky Boots, a bunch of swing shows that I'm going to forget, but then Once on This Island, and then Be More Chill. So that's been my...
Full-time at Be More Chill?
Full-time at Be More Chill, full-time at Once on This Island, but on the tail end. So I came in after a bunch of people, and I worked with Monique. She was a supervisor, but I finished it out. Like, Erin was in there, our friend Erin. She had done it for a minute, and then I came into her track when she, I believe, went to Phantom. Like, that fall, end of summer, I just got back from Lion King tour, the Rafiki tour, that I had been on. I was their swing. So until they came and had a new game of like different permanent swings in that company, I was going back and forth between New York and wherever they were in like Middle America and East Coast.
Oh, that's kind of like the life.
No, it was, if I could have, mind you, I'm an idiot and I make bad decisions a lot of the time. Okay. I had interviewed for the full-time position when it came to New York to be like interviewed for putting the tour together. And I completely bombed my interview because when they had asked us, it's going to be out for a year, I like, you know, when you can't sell it on your face, you're trying to be like, yes, any job interview you do ever, you're like, this is my life. I'm going to give my whole body and soul. Oh. I literally was like, ooh, a year? I like, and the interview was like, no, well, is there any way around that? Like, I just didn't, I couldn't fathom at that time because I'd never toured what that meant to be away from New York City where I had clients and work. I'm going to leave for a year? I thought that was impossible. Had I now known, I could have made a coin and been there and done it, I would have gone in a second. But luckily, my very good friend Ashley got the position and well deserved. And then I swung for her.
There you go.
Worked out.
All right. You made it work. And you also have been working pretty consistently since.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's one of those things where you're like, I didn't necessarily like miss my blessing.
Yes.
You had the opportunity, your foot was in the door.
Yeah. It's still, everything works out always the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it wasn't, I said no and I freaked out for it had to be, I was meant to just swing and have it in that kind of doses than being out full time for sure. So it was good.
How was it?
I loved it.
You did makeup?
Dreams. Well, when you're on tour, you have to do hair and makeup.
Which hair isn't really hair.
No.
It's pitting hats on.
Complete wigs and hats, Zazu hats, and like already really, you know, constructed Pumbaa like mohawks.
Yeah.
And then just braided wigs for, you know, Nala and the other Sarabi and all these guys. So yeah.
So it's pretty chill.
Oh yeah. No, once you know that track, I know we've all, when people are swinging and touring and working on the Broadway gigs, once you know your track, it really is just muscle memory.
Yeah.
So once I got comfortable, then you can kind of play and like, you know, it's fine. You don't feel the pressure of like trying to beat that makeup down, which is still hard though.
Right.
I never like can sit back on doing Zazu's blending. It's never like, let me relax. It's always it's a lot of work.
Do you really want to relax?
No.
Because that's part of the gig.
100%.
It's the
go. And the precision. Like when you know they have so many eyes on that show, and I know working on Broadway, I mean, still to this day, Elizabeth Cohen, the supervisor of, you know, 20 some odd, almost 30 years, she will still go sit in the back of the house with binoculars and zoom in on your work when you're training there and being there to make sure you got it right. And I'm like, okay, no pressure.
Don't fuck it up.
Do not fuck it up.
Okay, so you have, and I think this is why I enjoy you.
Yeah.
You have a lot of experience working with different skin tones.
Yes.
Has that always been the case? Or is that something that you, or is it more recent that you?
Well, as a white female, and then being that I have a very diverse, I know going into the industry, it was like, to me, it's always common sense. It's always been that, but the one thing that drove me to almost choosing to work more with, or making myself available, or gaining that knowledge to understand a plethora of medium to deep skin tones, the full spectrum. Because as a white woman, I practice my face every day. This is where I'm getting all the zoned in practice of correction and coloring and yada, yada, yada. And then the variants of that, you know, of fair skin tones. So I knew going out of school, I got a decent amount of education in it, but it wasn't enough. And I didn't feel confident at all. So I would hit up a lot of my girlfriends, who are of color, and then I would say, can I practice? Like, I need to practice. So let me work out my kinks, let me understand, let me learn color theory, let me do this so I can do it well and confidently. Because I always related to this, and this is why it's very near and dear to my heart, because you know that feeling of like when you see somebody sitting by themselves in a school at like lunch, and you're like, oh my God, they're by themselves. And the feeling that I'll embody of like them feeling embarrassed or just completely overlooked or just out by themselves. I had a lot of those moments on set with working with Black women and people of color on set where I would be like, I can feel you, because I'm an empath, that you feel uncomfortable and uneasy and overlooked, and that somebody has wronged you at one point. And I hated having that feeling for these women and men, that I'm like, you've gone through a lot of shit and you haven't been treated the way you're supposed to be treated when getting pampered and having your makeup or hair done. So I always made it a thing to make sure that anytime I was on set or had the opportunity to do so, that I was going to make sure these people were comfortable, that they felt confident and that was their best look, that they weren't questioning my expertise or how I take care of you. It's you feel beautiful and confident as well. You should. I don't want any woman or man to do any extra work, especially women of color, because it just is, ratio still today, it's still such an issue where people just are ill-educated. They don't have it. They haven't practiced it. They rather just kind of swoop under the rug or, not deal with the awkwardness of owning that they're not something they're very confident in or haven't had a lot of practice in.
They don't know.
Yeah, because I didn't know at the beginning. Obviously, though. It's like, what would you expect me to come out the womb? What?
You as a white woman, you're like,
you have to make it a to-do.
Why would I know how to do this?
Why would I
without
not sitting at home? Right. So, it was always conscious in my mind. Because I think, as you know, hair and makeup, we want to make people feel good. That was always the baseline. It didn't matter.
It's so funny. You brought up being an empath, and I've never really referred to myself as one of those. But girl. I
feel like you are, right?
I am. But also, I feel like as a hair and makeup artist, especially when you not working in a salon,
sure,
that's different.
Totally.
Even I met me being at Tina.
Yes.
Example, during tech, during all the things, I would sit there and literally watch these people be like, okay, wait, what am I,
stutter, does not know what to,
and I go, what can I do for you?
Right. Let me step in and help you.
Because I see you're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. That is a skill that you have to have.
Total skill. Agreed with you, have to have it. I never understand how hair and makeup artists get along in their career where they either don't like people or don't have that kind of empathetic feeling towards wanting to make sure. What we do is very vulnerable. Imagine me, and if I have insecurities with my skin or it's my wedding day or my first time on set, and we are usually the last people they see before they go on stage or before they go on set. They say that
or before they go say their vows.
Anything. We are the it's pretty crazy to think. So it's like if your energy,
I've never thought about it that way.
It's a lot of pressure when we put it in terms.
But it's so funny, even quick changes. Or
the last seconds. That imagine I fuck up your wig and now you have no chance and you have to run on stage. And my job is so important in that moment to make you right and feel confident and that this is secure for you to then go whip your head in a dance. I have to be so on point and care so much about you and my job to get the shit right. So it's all wrapped in one. So when people are really just clocking out, I never understand it. I feel like it shows in your work because it's just it's not that extra mile shit.
I've worked with a few people.
How do you know?
Oh yeah, and there have been times where I've been like, and we get paid the same amount.
They should have that kindness added gratuity to when we're
Ding!
I know.
Every single time.
Every time.
You get stars added.
So crazy, dude. I know. It has to.
And it's funny because the next question I had, you already answered it.
Uh-oh.
Look at you.
Damn it.
Well, what I was going to say
what
was
is it?
because I meet people. White people.
Yep.
I'm gonna just say it.
You can go all the way there.
100%. Be real with you.
Nope.
I meet white people who are like, well, I don't know. I don't know how to do that, or I don't know. I don't have experience.
Right.
Because I do meet people who say they don't know how to do.
White people love to put their responsibility on other people. I don't know if you've noticed that. It's a fun thing we like to do. We like to push blame elsewhere.
I don't know if y'all
for
knew
history.
This was going to be that kind of video, but it is.
It's always that kind of thing. Listen, but it's so crazy because it's just if with anything though, I think again, everything is stemmed from fear. Or insecurities. So if I'm insecure and I'm in fear that I haven't done something, I don't feel confident, I'm not going to be the one to push through in the room and be like, oh, send me that deeper skin tone model, send me that black woman over here, I'll take care of her. No, you're not going to do that. You're not going to go out of your way. You're just going to constantly, when people raise your hands in class, they're just going to fiddle and be like, no, I'm good. They're on the job because somebody else will always step up.
Yeah.
It's just that mentality. Somebody else will figure it out. I don't have to do it. Somebody else will do it. And it's always easier to say, well, why not have the black woman take care of this other black woman? Because, well, she knows.
She knows what she's doing.
Because
obviously.
She's black, she knows her hair, she knows her skin. Just do that. It's easier. Everyone's happy. Bye.
Right.
But it's not always the case.
Right.
And to me, if you want to consider yourself a professional working artist, whether that be hair or makeup, you have to know everything. And that even goes for, you have to even know the lightest of light, where it's porcelain popping veins through the skin, how to deal with that. And then the deepest, darkest tones of Alec Wex of the world, Alex, you have to. So it's I don't.
So here's my thing. What, if you can, what would be your suggestion? Because there are going to be people watching who are going to be like, okay, well, so then what do I do?
Education, always.
Right.
Always.
Right.
There's so many tools. There are so many people out there. We live in a digital era. There's really, at this point,
no excuse.
There's zero excuses to say, I don't know how to do something.
Because even, you know how they talk about the first steps of addiction and whatever. I think the first step is admitting it. So the first step is admitting that we're
going to create a group. You're all going to come together. And you're going to tell us, I don't know how to do it. I suck. Why do I like this?
The first step is admitting that you don't know what you're doing.
Yes, you don't.
And that's okay.
But that's okay. Do you know how many jobs, even on Broadway, that I have gone onto, and I'll give it to them straight. The supervisor straight. I don't know how to do this. I am not very good at this. I remember I got the job at Radio City.
Okay.
Which, to the late Dave Bova, because he gave me that job, rest in peace. But he gave me that job, was so confident that I was capable. And I'm thinking, I am not capable. I am not good at hair. There's no effing way.
Oh, hair.
Oh, yeah. Full wigs, hair, styling. It was for their Christmas show.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Rachel. Their spring show.
Okay.
Because Christmas show is like just Santa wigs, not really anything. But so we did the spring show, and I remember going into it. Oh my God, and I love when I get completely off the whys. Oh, the knowledge. When I told the teacher, hello, Rachel. When I told the lady, I was very candid with our supervisor, being like, my hair skills are about a 6, and I'm in a room full of 9s and 10s. So whatever I can do, teach me.
Right.
I will stay late. I will be learned. Teach me.
Yeah.
I'm so down for that, but also know where to place me, because you can't just throw me under this updo. And if that's too much, if this isn't a teaching job, because there's some of those where they're like, if you just don't know it, get out. I don't want to do that. But I've been very grateful and, I mean, lucky. Majority of the houses and places I've been in, I've had supervisors that have been willing to teach me.
Usually they are.
I've never really been met with it. Yeah, like you should become a little bit more equipped. But I'm very willing. I think when you're a willing student, and the same thing back to even just like we were talking about, understanding, you know, textured hair and all different sorts of hair textures, whether that be every spectrum of a person, and then skin tones, you have to be willing to learn, and then you have to back it up.
Right.
You got to go do it too. You can't just say, oh my God, I wish and I should. Well, go do it.
Listen, I'm not a licensed cosmetologist yet. I'm in cosmetology school right now.
Oh yeah,
so, yes, right now.
Yep.
So there are times where like I've worked on some shows, and yet I come in there and I've got a skill set.
Yes.
But they'll be like, okay, so I need you to cut this wig, and I'm like,
I will boldface be like, I'm going to break your wig. I will tell them. I'm like, I will ruin it.
I literally go, see, now I can. I literally did it at Tina.
I cannot.
Really? They were like, Monique, can you cut this wig? And I said, oh, I'm not licensed. Oh, you're not? And I'm like, no. And they're like, oh, okay. And I'm like, so I can. But
we're going to see our results here. And it's going to be your choice. Yeah.
I'm like, would you rather this licensed cosmetologist do it?
Feel like she's going to be the one. Yeah.
Right. And then I'll say, but this is what I can do.
Yeah.
I'll say, give me a list of things that need to be done.
Yes.
Oh, and I can do, if you give me a list of 10 things.
Yeah.
Coloring, listen, now we did the hair coloring chapter, so I'm actually pretty good at that.
She's versed.
Coloring, cutting, no thank you. Everything else, have at it.
You have it.
So you just have to literally, even Monique, can you do makeup? Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. And that's it.
Yes. Highlight your strengths wherever you can.
Yep.
Because I feel like with anything and everything we do, I mean, I wouldn't want to deter people that, if they don't have certain education and things, they don't have the knowledge, one, go get it. And put in that time and effort, invest in yourself, in your career. But then when you are in positions where you're getting offered opportunities or jobs, we're always told say yes and sometimes learn later. Sure, we all need to make a coin. You want to add to the resume. We're all growing and learning. Do that. But then give it your 110 when you're on that job to learn as much as possible when you're in that room.
Because if you already know you're not going to, say no.
Say no. Give it to somebody. And I have given jobs because I've been offered different positions on Broadway houses to be like, could you do this full time? Or can we bump you to this track? And I was like, no. I've been asked, even at Aladdin, go to this hair track. And I was like, I only did the makeup track there, which I also have to do hair in it, as we all know. But the Genie track, it predominantly has a lot of makeup where I knew, okay, I got this. And yes, I can do these wigs. I'll do them good. The show will go on.
Right.
Might not be the most astonishing wig you've seen that week where I'm there, but it's going to be okay. And then when they asked me to put in the full hair track, I was like, respectfully, no.
Right.
Because there is a hairstylist out there that is going to live and breathe for that track. It's not me.
You're like, it ain't me.
It's not me. Give it to them and give them that opportunity. You don't need to take everything.
Right.
You know, make room for other people and know when you're able to put people in positions of power in places, not just yourself. All the time.
And if we had a mic to drop, we would drop it.
Stupid.
Okay, so you and I collaborated recently. That was a good time.
Oh my God.
Like our first time meeting each other in person.
I know. Like,
it's fine. It is what it is. It's fine.
It's already there.
It's okay. It really is. We're vibing here.
I know.
But what else, like, have you been able to do, like, work-wise during this time that you can kind of, like, things that you can't talk about?
No, I'm an open book, and there's also not really anything secretive happening, girl. I wish I had, like, this secret project coming up. No. No, I've been doing a lot of, at least I've had stages during this quarantine where I feel like I was in a random stage where I was doing a bunch of makeups on myself. And I was like in it. I was posting weekly.
You're like content.
Oh my God. I was the biggest content creator. I was like, why am I not booked? People are paying me millions of dollars. I was like, dang, but I felt really creative. I was in a super flow with it. And then that completely fell off. And I was like, damn it, where did that go? And so when slowly things got to ease up a little bit and people were kind of opening up more, like the city-wise, and people were going out with masks. It wasn't like just stay in your house and don't breathe. And we had curfews and, you know, there was a bunch going on. So it was like, okay, we opened up. So Ellis, who was, you know, the photographer, I've shot with him pretty much the whole quarantine, doing a bunch of different shoots, which has been awesome because it's helped not only fuel my creativity back, but then I've gotten some work out of it, which is great. So continue building my book at the very least. But just that, to be honest, I've worked a lot, like I was saying, on my mental health. I picked back up on therapy. I did it virtually, which was a fun new thing because I've never done that. So it was through... Ever?
It's funny. During this time, I was like, I need a therapist.
I know. I just felt like I got to a really rocky spot where I was like, now's the time. And I have the time to invest and do, like, you know, give it the time. Because always I'd bounce around and just never be like, I can't schedule.
Right. Don't worry.
So busy.
It's a tab on my screen.
It's a tab.
It's a tab. It's open. I just like.
My health tab.
It's so funny, though, because, like, you would never think we'd be busy during a quarantine.
I
But
know.
You get to a point where you won't have anything going on.
I know.
And then all of a sudden you're like,
Now I have things. Like, I'm busy. I mean, and I guess on top of that, too, I mean, I as well also have a podcast and, like, a series. That is, like, I look at it right now as my job.
It's your job.
That's my job. That's me putting all my passions, all my time into it, and I love it. It's so much fun. It's one of my favorite things to do. So that's been my biggest, like, Rachel, now you have all the time in the world. Don't waste it. Because when we're freelancing and when we're back and it's like our schedules are never, ever concrete. So I don't ever just kind of get to make a strict, consistent schedule with it by putting out content and interviewing and all of that. So that's been a blessing to just up that because I was not moving the way I was moving. Now that I am, I was like, oh shoot.
Well, with your podcast, so let's talk about that just a little bit.
Sure.
How often do you like to release new content?
You know what? At the beginning, because I wanted to be kind to myself, it was bi-weekly. So it was just one episode every 2 weeks. I also didn't want to like. Marketing and figuring this all out, this whole game of digital and doing your own self-promotion and things is a lot. Like, I'm learning a lot.
It's so funny because people are like, aren't you a millennial? Shouldn't you know how to do all of this?
No.
And I do
like,
the same
what?
thing. And I'm like, first of all, self-promotion.
Oh my God.
Horrible
at it.
Because we're our own worst critic.
Yeah.
And we don't like talking about ourselves.
No, I feel like it's so pushy when I'm constantly like, share this, do this. I still do it to like my closest of friends. I'll send them posts. Post that for me, send this for me, reshare this for me. Oh girl, do it. It's like free, fun. I mean, because if my friend sent me it, I would easily be like, of course, I love it, I back it, I'm gonna do it. Oh yeah. Like I'm totally shameless with my friends. But when it comes to the larger community of people, I'm not asking you to, hey,
girl, I struggle
no, if you like it, hopefully you're liking it.
I struggled with writing a bio.
No. Okay, but bios are awkward because you have to talk in third person and be like, Rachel has accomplished so much in 3 years' time. It's like, that's so freaking weird. Why do I want to say this?
I literally, and it was so funny because I wrote this very like short and sweet, straight to the point bio.
What was it for theater?
Yeah.
Yeah, for your, yeah.
And they were like, so we have questions. And then they asked me questions and wanted me to answer them in my bio. And I was like,
no.
Aren't those interview questions? Like, I'm okay.
Yeah, like, what is, no.
And they're like, but your bio is kind of like answering all the interview questions.
Like what we know about you.
This is what pulls people in. And I'm like, shouldn't this be enough?
This should be enough. It's a seller.
But
it's mug.
Shouldn't this be
Don't they know?
But so I'm really working on it. Like,
it's a lot.
It's hard. Self-promotion.
I give it up for the people that literally the content creators of the world, the YouTubers. It is a full-time gig, and they're killing it. And I'm jealous that I didn't get privy to it when it was a little less congested as it is now. Because everyone and their mother, it's a fun thing. Because to be very honest, I mean, it's always mindset, right? With these kinds of things where you look at it two different ways. It can always be half glass full, half empty. If we look at it, everyone has it. Everyone's offering something. You're always going to stun your own growth and what you have to offer. Versus if you're like, no, what I'm bringing to the table is different. And also, I'm just going to be one of the people adding to the world of the content that I want to see, you know?
Which is why I did this.
Hello. And you're killing it. And I love it. Broadway is always like the ugly stepsister.
It's like, shh.
Yeah, no. It's like it's not a glamorous world. It's always like TV and film sets or fashion is reserved for that. Because even, I mean, we had to have Anna Wintour come in and pimp out our Tonys before it was like people showing up looking like they were going to their prom. It was just like embarrassing. Sorry, but it was. But it was. It was totally just like nobody was wearing high fashion shit. Everyone looked ridiculous. Yeah, sorry to all the, I mean, hello. But it got upgraded because it was looked down upon, and she looked at it like, no, Broadway is the highest caliber theater. Huge. And I was like, you made it. You're working on Broadway. This is it. There's no higher than that for theater. You did it.
And it's so funny. I tell people, I'm like, it's not really as glamorous as you think it is. It really isn't. It's really not.
We're stuck in little tiny basements. We don't have windows. It's fine. Right. It's like, you know.
Bad ventilation, you know. But
we love it.
But then when you think about it, it's like, no, really. So
I
just wanted to, and you do a lot of behind the scenes chat with people talking about
really smart way. So you 100%, you can market anything.
I'm telling you.
If you like it enough.
So guess what? You just create the lane. You create the space.
Oh, you have to. Yeah. We don't really have a choice. It's like if you really love something, rather than, you know, doubting yourself and constantly being like, why not, just do it. Yeah. Just start and just see. I thought about doing this like podcast YouTube series for at least 2 years. And I even went to certain places where I was like, oh, I'm going to spend all this money to go record at this podcast studio. And then it never matched the vibe that I wanted. I was like, I don't want to sit in a studio. I want, you know, people in this way. And so until I got it in the way that I wanted to formulate it, where it felt organic, then I finally did it. But a lot of the bullshit around for the 2 years was my own fear base of why I shouldn't know.
Okay. I know what you're thinking. Monique, what happened to the rest of the video? Well, Rachel and I decided to do something a little special for you all. We met up on a separate day, and I let her beat this face. Check it out. Fact, and I'm glad I'm recording this. This is the first time somebody's ever done my makeup before. No pressure. Don't tell me that!
I love this. No, I get so excited. But you know what it is?
And I'm sure because you are an artist and you like things. Like we talked about it. Like you beat your face a certain way. You're, you know your face so well that when you kind of feel like, I don't need you to.
Yeah, just get this helps me even with the glow.
Right.
And it helps me just warm up. And I like putting a little extra layer. Just so we have
Ooh, yes she does. She smells like, what is that?
Oh my god, I don't even.
It smells like eucalyptus or some kind of lemon something.
Yeah. But I don't know what's in the movie Skin Food.
I feel like I'm in a spa, child.
Yes.
Oh my god. I'm glad I'm getting this on camera because that's really funny. But yeah, never done this before, so.
Oh my god. No, I love it. That's so exciting. I've had a lot of first timers. And then they're like, okay, I love it. Sometimes no, I have people, I did this girl, oh my god, I think it was. Do something!
Girl, you see my little baby lashes?
My
lashes are non-existent. That's why I always wear a lash. I'm like, boop, I dress in drag, okay? Yeah. I am in drag all the time. Also, side note for any makeup artists that are watching, if you don't give somebody a facial massage like the way she
not even just
okay, because I'm about to go to sleep. Okay.
I know. Well, it's good because we want to get all what is it? It's like drainage out from like the toxins and just like the lymphatic nerves and like
Like when you do, that's when you do the little jade roll thing.
Yeah. So usually I work it up a lot. You have to give up a lot of tension in here. This is really good, and on the jawline you can like push back and up, almost like goes out your ears into the lobe, and then pull it down into the neck. So that's a good one.
I mean, for my first experience, this is really. I didn't know I was going to the spa. Okay.
So, like,
We are at Shea Rachel. Okay, Shea Estabrook. Don't play with me.
I am dead.
I love it.
It's actually my favorite. Skin is always, I mean, I love doing an eye, I love all the things, but I really love skin.
Yeah, that's
I could
but that's important. It's the foundation. It's just like any other thing.
Yes.
What I was gonna say is like, even with like wigs, hair, whatever, you know, a lot of the times in order for your hair to grow and whatever, you can throw a wig on top of it all you want, but if the hair underneath, the foundation underneath is not good, like your hair is not gonna grow. What's the point of protecting style? 100%. So what you got? Some more? Okay.
Yes. This is what we love. I mean, this has been, I don't know if there's others, but really, to be honest, anytime I have a eye primer, unless I'm using like a MAC paint pot, where it's like, oh, this thicker primer is going to do something a little bit extra. But I love this. I've never had issues with it.
I was gonna say that's a staple. I
feel like
in a lot of
everybody,
people's
yeah, kind of has her. So
if I wasn't using Urban Decay, I think at one point when I worked for Too Faced for a little while.
oh yeah,
I used their what was it called? You know what I'm talking about.
Yes,
in the,
yes.
in the mint green
Yeah.
with a gold top.
and listen, I love Too Faced lips. Like they have great products. I haven't played with a ton, like a big range of their actual line, but lips, come on. Too Faced Melted, let's go. Love.
What's this?
This is Papa. So it's it's that white mint that they now do it in a bunch of shades, which is kind of crazy. I just do the original because I'm not trying to do all that. But they have like yellow, pink, green. What I think I want to do, oh, I do have it. I like working with creams and then shadows. I have more control with like pencils and all the things. I feel like I want this down on your face and then I'm gonna blow her out. I want. Okay, I'm gonna do eyes first and then we'll do skin because it's gonna be a dark eye for the most part.
Great. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Something I rarely do as well.
Oh my god, really?
I mean, you know.
Wear a leg, wear a wig. Okay, cool. don't know yet where I want to add shimmer, and if I given the time. But that's really the only reason why, because it sits so nice.